Top of the morning, everyone. My name is April. I am a teacher, counselor, spirit guide, and healer, among many other things. And this is WC Storytime. So yesterday, I did a reading for an individual, and they had asked me a question if they should do this particular thing that they were wanting to do or thinking about doing, and if that would matter. So I said to this person, I gave them an answer. I was like, well, you already technically did it, but if you feel like you need to go the extra mile, Spirit is saying that that's pretty much up to you. The mission's already accomplished, but if you feel like putting up a poster or a placard, okay. So the analogy that my spirit guides gave me was that you've already graduated, you got your diploma. If you want to frame it, that's up to you. So that's pretty much what the client was asking me. I already did this thing, but there's a next step that I could take. And so the analogy that Spirit gave me was you already got the diploma, you already graduated, but if you want to frame your diploma, if you want to make it look all pretty, that's on you. That's just a preference. It's not necessary in order to change the tide or get the protection that you think you need. You've already got it. But if you want to make it look pretty, that's up to you. So that being said, right, I explained to this person that they're asking me what do I think about it, but it's never really about what I think about it, because I don't really have a preference, right? It's not my life. I don't really have a preference. However, I'm always consciously asking my spirit guides to answer this question for these people. I'm channeling messages, and not even my spirit guides, but even maybe their spirit guides, your spirit guides. It's not even necessarily my spirit guides all the time. So I'm asking Spirit, the universe in general, right? Whoever positively is coming through, what this person should do to answer their questions. So I explained that to them, that it's not what I think you should do, but what they're saying is going on here. And then Spirit comes, because basically the goal is to help other people be able to connect and communicate with Spirit the same way that I do. I'm just a messenger. I'm just the middleman for people that don't have that direct line, to somebody, So I'm explaining to this person that have you asked your spirit guides? We've been talking about your spirit guides and your ancestors and you getting, more in tune with your intuition. So have you asked for an answer? Have you asked for a sign or anything like that? And they just kind of looked at me and were kind of, taken back by the comment. I'm like, dude, that's what this is all about. I'm like, if you ask for a sign, you will get one. And they were like, well, what do you mean by a sign? And I'm like, you can ask for anything. I was like, and you want to be really specific about it. You can ask to see a feather or see a rainbow, or and then I was like, or you might you could ask to see change or pennies. And then I was like, but after you ask for the sign, you need to be aware and be present, because most people will get an answer but they miss it because they're not really paying attention, and it doesn't always show up the way we expect it to. My favorite example is one of the Wolverine movies, the Logan movie. Professor X is telling Logan that he was mentioning he was saying the word liberty. He didn't say Statue of Liberty. He was just saying liberty. And Logan was telling him no, that happened so many years ago, because they had, fought Magneto at the Statue of Liberty. And so Logan, aka Wolverine, thought that Professor X was just losing his effing mind because he was getting old, and that, he was just having memories of the past. Turns out Logan ends up following, spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen the Logan movie, which is effing awesome, ends up following, I'm going to just say one of the main characters, to what is called the Liberty Hotel. So Professor X wasn't talking about the Statue of Liberty. He was talking about the fact that this is where this person is, and they were staying at the Liberty Hotel. So signs don't always show up the way we expect them to. So I'm telling this client, and what came through to me was that they might see pennies on the ground. And then I explained to them that if you ask to see pennies, that you might not actually see a physical penny on the ground. you may see a picture of a penny or read the word penny somewhere, or you might meet a woman named Penny. Now here gets to the good part, people. So I finished this reading, right? And I'm just, it's the end of my day and I'm chilling, and my mother's an effing social butterfly, so she's always bringing strangers home. She knows these people, but I don't effing know these people. You know what I mean? So she's always bringing strangers home and introducing them to me. Like, hey, April, this is so-and-so. This is my friend. So so I'm just chilling. I'm watching TV. I'm eating my, lunch dinner thing that I got going on. And it was good. And she brings this lady into my space, and she's like, yeah, this is Penny. And I stopped dead bite into my cheeseburger and was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be effing kidding me. Like, and they're just looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, even if I was to tell that, like, I told them the story, I explained. I was like, I just did a reading for somebody, and I was explaining to them about the pennies, and I said that they might meet a woman named Penny, and that's still a sign. And then a woman named Penny shows up in my life the same day, literally less than a fucking hour after I finished the reading. Are you kidding me right now? Now, mind you, everybody, I've never met a woman named Penny in my life. I've met a lot of people. I've met quite a few people in my life. And I've met people with the same name. Jens, Dorothy's, April's, Ayana's, even people with like really unique names. I've met multiple people with the same effing name. Never in my life have I met anybody named Penny. And yet yesterday, right after Spirit channels this message to me talking about you might meet a woman named Penny, that was literally like mic drop. That was my last line to this person. I meet a woman named Penny. I was just so freaking mind blown yesterday. It was a good day. It was a sign for me. Not necessarily, it wasn't answering the client's question, but it was just a sign for me that, like, I delivered the right message, that I was interpreting what was coming through from the ethers, from Spirit, in the most appropriate way, and it was just fucking awesome. So yeah, I had to share that with you guys. So yeah, follow the signs, trust your intuition. Namaste.